Want to learn how to identify the perfect site for your next dual lock development? Well, stick around, because in this video, I'm going to share 7 tips that are going to help you identify the perfect site, that Godfather site that's going to maximize your return on equity. I'll also show you how to identify a site that will give you the quickest payback period, which is how long it takes to complete your project and get your money back. Identifying the perfect site is not only the first step, but the most important step in delivering successful, highly profitable dual lock developments. If you're out looking for a site, the potential to lose tens of thousands of dollars is real if you don't know what you're looking for. Let's get into it. The first rookie mistake is thinking you can get on realestate.com or Domain and find a site listed with the land dimensions and think you're good. We've all seen them. Most of these sites might technically be okay to develop from a planning perspective, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. The real question you want to ask yourself, is it commercially the right site? When finding sites for our clients, we discard so many before we find the right one. The single most important way to make more money from your development project is identifying the site with the most potential. Zero emotion, leveraging only your knowledge, numbers, and facts. Tip 1, zoning. Certain types of developments are supported in particular zones and some aren't. Different councils will have their own way of controlling these zones and even interpreting parts of the planning scheme. So it's vital you know your area and understands what's getting through and what isn't. Interpretation of the regulations can change from council to council and even planner to planner. So it's up to you to have your finger on the pulse in your local area. Tip 2, block dimensions. By block dimensions, I'm referring to frontage and depth of your site, length and width. These measurements will directly impact what you can achieve on your block. In fact, they could be the difference between achieving a profit and not. I'll be doing a video in the coming weeks where I go through optimal block sizes for various development sites. 2s, 3s, 4s, corner sites, the lot. So if you're new around here, smash the subscribe button so you don't miss out. Tip 3, encumbrances. Easements, power poles, trees are some of the examples of things that can have an adverse impact on your plans and in some instances even stop the development from moving forward altogether. If something slips through the net, it's almost guaranteed to cost you time and money while you figure out what you need to compromise on your project to find a way forward. It's important that you put the time into learning the different encumbrances in your local area. Tip 4, essential services. You need to consider the location of all your services and what's involved in connecting them to your dwellings. So your sewer, water and power. If the location of a service isn't favourable, you need to know so you can account for it in your site feasibility. It can be a serious financial hit to your project if the sewer is on the other side of the street and it hasn't been accounted for. That will come directly off your bottom line, the line we are trying to protect. Tip 5, block gradient. This is another site-specific environmental factor you need to be aware of because if missed, can absolutely cost you tens of thousands of dollars. The gradient or fall of your land can affect the required earthworks, the need for retaining walls, and even the potential to install a pump system to remove your stormwater to your legal point of discharge if the natural fall cannot be achieved. All of these potential and significant costs, if not considered when doing your site feasibility, can and will negatively impact the profitability of your project. Tip 6, site orientation. Site orientation plays a big part in being able to maximize the outcome of your project, but is often not given enough thought and planning. This subject is a big one and needs your respect. It's something that buyers are becoming more and more educated on, and getting it wrong will be costly. As a quick example, if your private open space is south facing, for the majority of the day you'll be shadowing yourself, which impacts what you can build for one, but also not very appealing to live in. Who wants to live under a shadow? And finally, tip 7, plans and permits. Unless you're a super experienced, I highly recommend you stay away from projects that already have plans and permits. It's nearly impossible for you to genuinely find out the reason for someone selling the site, which is super important to know. When developers sell sites like this, they nearly always want to make a profit because they believe they have added value to the site and they want you to pay for it. But that's the profit you want to make through all the tips I've just shown you. The other main reason not to act on a deal like this is that most of the main decisions have already been made. If they are not made correctly, you are bound to follow them through as the permit has already been issued. Even though all the steps in the developing process can cost you time and money if not considered and executed correctly, this step is without doubt the most important. Taking the time to learn yourself is super important. So be patient and remain disciplined. Half the battle is finding the perfect site that will let you achieve your desired outcome. You get this right, you're well on the way to making serious profits. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.